and welcome to Jesus for Asia Now. I'm Natalie Wood, and I have my husband John here with me on the show.
Hi, darling.
Hello, love. You know, we've got a lot of colored leaves
Yeah.
and pumpkins and various other things that make us think of fall.
Yeah.
Is there a special reason for that today?
This is the Thanksgiving special show.
All right, and today we want to share some things
Yes.
that we're thankful for.
Very thankful for. God has done amazing things this year in His work, and we're very thankful for that. And we just kind of want to do a little highlight summary of some of the things that He's done.
Right, we have over 40 projects here at Jesus for Asia, and so
Yeah.
we could number off a lot of things. Some projects, it's like one Thanksgiving after another, but we have to pick and choose.
You know, it's been 395 years this year, 395 years since the very first Thanksgiving back in 1621.
Wow.
And, you know, they had gone through the first tough winter. A lot of people had died, and they'd gone through the summer, and they were thankful for the harvest. But they knew that they had another winter coming. And so they knew that this Thanksgiving time was not like, oh, yay, the work's done. It was just like, we're thankful we're alive. We're thankful for what God has blessed us with. And that's how I feel now, is that there's a lot of work to be done out there. We're just barely getting started. And yet, we're very thankful for what God has done this year.
Right, and we also want to say that we're thankful that God's using us.
Yeah, because we're
We're
not
not
special
special.
people.
Right, we're
Yeah.
not, but there's other people just like us out there that He is using also.
Absolutely.
Just ordinary people
And
that
He
have been
can-
called by the Lord into some sort of work, and they're
Absolutely.
doing it.
Yeah, He can use anybody.
Right,
As long
and
as
He
we're
wants to
willing.
use all of us.
Yes, absolutely.
So we each have a place in His work.
Very special place.
Right.
But as long as we move into that place and do what He calls us to do, because time is short. And so what we're going to do, we should do now.
Right. And we want to start off by highlighting our evening schools in India.
Yeah, evening schools are amazing.
And it's so fun to be with the children and watch and see their joy and everything. And we'll be showing a little video in just a minute. But
Yeah.
first, how many meals do we estimate that we've shared at the evening schools?
Well, this is like the 10th year anniversary, or 10th anniversary of the evening schools, and we estimate that nearly 500,000 meals have been given to kids.
Right. And
over
that's
that
not
10
just a
years.
meal.
No.
That's most of these children, it's their second good meal of the day.
Right.
And also, that's attached to several hours of tutoring in their local language, math, everything from school.
Yep.
And then also there's a worship where they learn memory verses and scripture songs and spiritual songs, and they hear stories from the Bible and things like that.
Right.
And
Yeah.
so it's really especially touching, you know, that they also learn about
Right.
Jesus while they're there.
Oh yeah, there's some amazing stories about, you know, these kids, they learn how to pray, and then they go home and there's a problem, and then they pray at their home. We've seen barriers come down in villages that are hostile to Christianity. This is providing a service for their kids. Their kids are learning to be respectful, to be kind. It's keeping them out of mischief like drugs and smoking and gambling and things like that. And they're becoming upstanding citizens and leaders in their community.
Right.
And so we're really excited about what God is doing through the evening schools.
Let's watch that video now.
Yeah, no, just before we watch it, this is different schools all kind of jumbled together.
Okay.
So it's just little highlights, like a collage of the different schools. Right now we have 6 evening schools, and so this is pieces of all of them.
Okay. They're so precious.
So they're all saying thank you,
Right.
because they realize that, I mean, they like the food. Because it's not just a meal, it's a nutritious meal. It's got the veggies and all the vitamins and stuff in there that they don't normally get.
And they're made to eat their veggies.
Yes, they are.
Well, we want to go next to our Bible workers. And we
Yes.
have over 200 in India, Thailand, and the Philippines. And most of them are in India. And we want to share a little video about them from various places in India.
Yeah.
Also,
And these Bible workers are amazing because they're like the backbone of the church. For instance, Assam, okay? This is a state in India, and it's got 32.8 million people, okay? And guess how many pastors? 4.
yeah,
4 pastors
for 30.
for 32 million people. So we have 33 JFA Bible workers there, and they're the ones that carry the work. They do the evangelism, they take care of the churches, and the pastors just come around and do the baptisms and do the supporting role and make sure everything's going well. So, you know, without the Bible workers in some of these places, the church would really suffer.
Yeah. And their work is so important. They're meeting the people, they're praying with them, they're getting to know the challenges and discouragements and things in their lives, and they're caring, and they're studying the Bible with them. And you know, it's,
and some of these Bible workers have been with us from the beginning, so they've been there for almost 11 years, and their hearts are just in it. We've had some Bible workers leave the work and then come back and says, I have to do this work because I want the light in my life, the light of sharing Jesus with others. And so I get so on fire when I'm over there. I see what they do. It's like I'm so proud to be a representative, a voice for them, and being their servant in providing sponsorship or a pipeline for people here in America to sponsor these people over there doing this amazing work for so little.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, let's watch this video.
Now this again is a collage from different Bible workers around the area.
All different places in India.
Yeah, the south and the west and the northeast, different places like that.
Okay.
Every time I watch that, my heart goes back to India.
Yeah.
And, you know, they're really meeting people's hearts, they're meeting their needs, and they're bringing light into people's houses, into people's lives. And that's just so exciting.
Yeah.
Love it.
Now, I know that on that video, there were a couple sections where there were shots of baptisms.
Mm-hmm.
And we wanted to mention the baptisms?
Yeah,
Do
we
we have
don't-
a count of baptisms?
No, we don't count baptisms because traditionally or recently it's been kind of an abused type of thing where, it's the number setting and the Bible workers then are trying to get a certain number so that they can keep their job or that they
Won't
can get a
paid.
notice.
They feel like they won't get paid if they don't have a certain number of baptisms, that kind of thing.
Exactly. And so we've chosen not to count baptisms because one of our goals is to see people enter heaven, not just enter a baptismal tank. And so the focus really is on nurturing. Baptism is one step. It's a very visible step, but then there's are they still there a year from now? Are they still coming to church? Are they still connecting with Christ? Are they still reading their Bible? Do they have a Bible to read? Do they have any Ellen White books? Do they have Desire of Ages? These are the questions that we have. Do they have a church to go to? And are they meeting on a regular basis? A lot of times we find our Bible workers are carrying the responsibility of the church. Some of our Bible
they have
workers,
districts, some of them.
yeah, the first pastor that we saw in that little video, he has 4. He has 4 churches that he's overseeing and caring for. And so they're carrying the church as well as then trying to do the outreach and meeting new people and bringing new people in and stuff.
And it's such a blessing to work hand in hand with the church in that way and
Yes.
support the church because there is such a lack of
and
pastors.
And that's something that the church has told me. They say, it feels like JFA Bible workers and the church is the same.
That's good.
So that's something I appreciate about Israel, our director there, is he's developed a very close working relationship with the church.
And the Bible workers know that too. They know
Absolutely.
that they're part of, and the church cares for them. The church, we pay them through the church's structure there. And so
Right.
the church is caring for them and doing training with them and
Absolutely.
different things like
and
that.
and so when I visited Mumbai just a few weeks ago and traveling with the president of the Mumbai metro section, and it's like we're brothers, His heart for the city is mirrors my heart, and huge opportunities and stuff like that. So it's exciting work. It's beautiful. It's very fruitful, very effective work in reaching people's hearts. You saw the ladies that were crying there. People with real needs. This isn't just expanding a church or developing a program. It's meeting people with real needs, with real challenges in their lives. And when God helps them solve those challenges, the kingdom goes forward. And it's awesome.
Yeah. So it's definitely something to be thankful for today.
Amen. Amen.
The next project we want to
Yes.
talk about is a widow's program. It's a widow's sewing school. And we've had one for a number of years in a different location, but it had to close because the building was deteriorating so badly
Yeah.
that it became a matter of possible life and death.
It was a
that the
rental.
building would crumble down on their heads. And
Yeah.
it was a rental, and we couldn't find another place in that area. So
Very
we were
expensive.
very disappointed to have to close down, and I think they were too, because it was helping.
Oh, sure.
What we found is the widows in India, because they don't have necessarily training in any sort of vocation before they get married, if their husband passes away or leaves them for some reason, they have no training still.
Yeah.
And so
They
what we
become like beggars and can't take care of their kids.
yeah
And so they end up going into really doing very degrading things
yes
to survive.
yeah and so what we have done is open a sewing school that teaches them to sew, and they can earn their living and provide for their children that way.
Yeah, and they love it.
And so because we had to close the other one, the Lord has given us a new one.
Yes. And this one was started by our dear Dorothy Watts, who
Right.
was the wife of the president of the Southern Asia Division years ago before she passed away. So after she passed away, this school kind of went into disrepair, and there was some vandalism and stuff like that. And this is in a special community. This is in the Gypsy community. The Gypsies in this area had a difficult time earning money, and they weren't very educated, and so they would do things that, just trying to survive.
Right.
And so the school was a real blessing to them for many years. And when it went out of operation, the headmaster saw his community going downhill again. And so one day, he and his wife got in a bus and a rickshaw and whatever it took them an hour and a half to get to the headquarters of the mission, and on a Thursday morning begged the president, please reopen this school, we need it. And he was crying and everything. And the president's like, we don't have money to open the school. We don't have money to barely keep our pastors going. So he says, tell you what, you pray. And so that afternoon, I was in India, and I was talking to Israel, our director there, and I says, you know what, we need to open that school. And so he called the president that Thursday afternoon that man had asked, the head man had asked, and said, we're going to open that school. And the head man was so happy. Oh my goodness, I've never seen a man more animated and more joyful and more expressive. He's just so happy to see that anyway, we'll roll a little video. You can get a taste of the opening of the sewing school.
Okay.
Okay, we've just opened the widow school, the sewing school, here in this village, and you can see that these ladies are just going to town. It's like pent-up desire and energy to learn sewing, to better their lives, have an income, provide for their families, their kids. So I'm so excited. This gives me a lot of joy to see these people doing this work. So just a little taste.
Just a little one, yeah.
Yeah. And so we have another project?
Yeah, we have another project.
Yeah.
And that is the well drilling project.
Yeah, we've been working hard on this to get it going. There's so many hoops. Even just getting the electricity to the church took a long time and a lot of money. But it's going, so that's what we're thankful for this year.
Yeah, this is the first one.
Yes.
Of several places that need them. So
yes.
The water situation in India is quite challenging, and we have a show about that, so we'll have to tell people they'll have to look for the Clean Water Show.
Right.
But we want to share this video from...
And just to give you an idea, these ladies, it may look like they're walking a long way, but they used to have to walk 7 kilometers to get water. 7 kilometers versus, being right there in the village.
Across the street.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, here we go.
That little girl wasn't cheeky. I mean, they start early.
Yeah, they have to learn.
But that shot was on my iPhone, so that's why the quality wasn't quite as good. But
yeah, but she was just too cute.
Oh yeah.
Too precious, being helpful.
And it's cool because the well is right on the church property, so people have to come to the church property to get that water.
All right.
And so this is a way that the church can be a service to the community and show that we're here for their blessing. We're not just trying to get people to come to our church. We're here to bless.
Right.
Of course, the biggest blessing is the water of life.
Right.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that's a neat story behind that village having the well there too, but we don't have time for that today.
No, we got to keep going.
We have to keep going. We want to talk next about a project in the villages in Western Thailand.
Yes.
And this is a remote area, and a young man named Travis Sharon that's working out there pretty much alone. He's the only, well, he's been the only American. Occasionally others join him, but it's really a neat thing to see how the Lord is increasing the work there. The school is growing. Well, we should let Travis tell them himself.
Before you run the video, I just want to give this little tidbit that this is a big praise report because all the buildings that you're going to see in this video were built by him, lumbered by a chainsaw with his own hands. So it's pretty cool.
Right. Here we go.
We basically have 5 major subjects: Bible, English, Korean, Burmese, and math. Then we of course have science, history, and geography. Our ultimate goal in teaching the students is that they will catch the vision to move forward and fulfill the work that God has given us to do as a people, as a church. And that I see as the purpose of true education, to teach young people to love God, and not only through their academics, but through manual labor, recreation, to teach them to love and follow God.
His laughter and theirs is infectious.
Yes, very inspiring.
It's really neat to see how that school has grown.
Very thankful that it's finally to the place where they have a building and they can be teaching.
Right, and they
So-
have some native workers there that are teaching. It's
Yes.
just such a blessing.
Yeah.
The next project we want to talk about is not, we don't have video for it, but it's just two things we want to mention really quickly. And that is the first Ellen White devotional has been translated into Thai, and it's being edited now to be ready for printing.
Yeah.
When do you think that will be ready?
Should be ready in the spring for printing.
Okay, and which book was that?
This is Our High Calling.
Our High
Can you
Calling.
imagine going through your whole life, growing up as an Adventist, and not having a devotional book
No,
to read for
of any
family
kind.
worship?
Of any kind.
Yeah,
Yeah.
incredible. And so this, especially this one, is awesome. So it's going to be a huge blessing in Thailand.
Right.
Yeah.
And the next one that we hold dear is the Desire of Ages in Thai.
Yes.
And that one, what's the status with that one?
That one again is in final editing. We're hoping to see that in print by springtime.
All right, we've talked a little bit about the village in Thailand, and now we want to talk about the city. Bangkok is a very large city in Thailand.
Yes.
There are several other large cities also, but Bangkok is one that's dear to our hearts because you did the show I Want This City There with Pastor Doug Ben.
8.5 months living
Yes.
in Bangkok.
Well, and this young couple,
Yes.
Brian and Jessica, they came to our faith camp and they saw a portion of the video I Want This City There, and they were touched by the needs of Bangkok.
Yes. And
And
so
so
they
t-
moved to Thailand and have spent the last 2 years in language study. And they've learned the
And
language.
prayer.
Oh yeah, lots of prayer. And they put themselves down in Bangkok in a rental house, just expecting God to show them the next step. And God did.
He has opened the doors.
Yes.
And they had a burden for this specific area of Bangkok,
Right.
Rongkhamhaeng, because of one of the videos in I Want
Yeah.
This City. That video was showing that the church plant there, the center of influence there, had to close.
Yeah.
And so they were touched by that need, and they prayed, and their hearts were burdened for that particular area.
Right. There's also
Now-
a very large university in that area. And when I say very large, I mean very large. It's like 500,000 students, 500,000 students.
That's
Going to
amazingly
school there.
large. Like the 12th largest in the world?
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that.
So the Lord led them to a new a building, a rental, 4-story. They were looking for a small place, but God brought them to a large place, like 15,000 square feet. Well, we'll show you the video.
Okay.
Okay, so this is just a normal street in Bangkok, very typical, but it's in a student housing center area near the university, about 2 minutes walk from the university, so perfect for meeting lots of young people. Coming in the front door, and on the first floor, they're going to put in like a smoothie, baked goods, simple food shop, place to hang out, free Wi-Fi. Up on the second floor, they'd like to put in some classrooms for Bible study and English training and a large room for lectures. Here's Brian and Jessica. Jessica's got the little baby coming up to the third floor. They're planning to have living quarters for staff and the volunteers. They also want to do calisthenics training and have exercise equipment on that floor. You can see it's a very large building. Coming up to the fourth floor, they'd like to have a climbing wall or space for bouldering. So bouldering is like a climbing wall, just not quite as high. And of course, this is the roof. So it was really cool to see how they put themselves out in a place expecting God to provide and open the door, and then God did it. So that's a big Thanksgiving item.
Right. Very much thankful for that.
Yes. But the work's not done.
Right. And so we want to leave our viewers with a few prayer requests, and then
Yes.
we'll...
Okay.
And the first one is that all of the nations of the world would know who God is.
Yes.
In the Word it says every nation, every kindred, tongue, and people. That covers a lot of ground right there.
Yeah.
I heard a statistic the other day that 58 people die every day who have never heard the name of Jesus. And it just really tore my heart because they don't know him. They don't know that he did so much for them. You know, I mean, yeah, God can save them anyway, whether they've heard his name or not, because he knows their hearts. But how much better is it for them to go through this life of toil and for many people so much suffering and pain, knowing that he's there with them, that he cares so much about them.
And how many people will be lost because they didn't know there was forgiveness of sin?
Right.
Yeah.
So we have a challenge, and we have something definitely to pray for.
Yeah, absolutely. My prayer for this coming year is that angels will hold back the winds of strife a little longer. With everything that's going on, the turmoil in the world, I feel like we have a very short time left. I'm just begging God. I know that there's a certain amount of work that we have to do before Jesus can come, whether that's in difficult times or easy times. I would really rather do as much as we can during the easy times, so we don't have to do it in the hard times. And so I'm praying that God will hold back the winds of strife a little longer.
And so as we come to the end of this special Thanksgiving show, we would just like again to give all praise, honor, and glory to the King of the universe, who has all confidence in his plan, and we can therefore have confidence in his plan also. He is calling each one of us to be a part of his noble cause of sharing his gospel in the world today. Whatever we can do, if we do to the best of our ability, whatever he asks us to do, it will please him, and we will receive a reward. We are looking forward to the day of his appearing. Until then, there is still a lot of opportunity to spread his light in this sin-darkened world. If you would like to help reach the billions in Asia, you can send your tax-deductible love gift to Jesus for Asia, P.O. Box 1221, Collegedale, Tennessee 37315. Call us at 423-413-7321 or check out our website at jesusforasia.org. We would like to wish you a very happy Thanksgiving from your friends at Jesus for Asia.